Hello. Sorry. I'm still like getting set up. All right. Hey everyone, how's it going? Happy 8 p.m. We are live. And today's topic is tomorrow is a new day. That is today's topic. So really what this sorry, I'm playing around with my technology stuff. Really what today's topic is about is it's a reminder that I received from this wonderful, wonderful human being named Christine. A very common reminder that if you are having a bad day today, if things are not going well for you today, just know that tomorrow is indeed a new day. As in, um, like let's not focus on the past. Let's focus on moving forward. I just got off. I just got off a wonderful live chat, Zoom video chat with some awesome people, Tim, and we were talking a little bit. Tim, I hope are you? Let me know if you're open to me kind of sharing about this whole the whole context of what we talked about in terms, especially around what you talked about. Let me know. Say yes. Say yes if I could talk about it, or say no. That I won't talk about it. So essentially, like the reason why today's topic is tomorrow's a new day is because yesterday I was having a really I guess I don't want to say it was a crummy day. It was just one of those days where I it didn't feel great. It didn't feel like I accomplished a lot. I didn't how do I say this? I didn't accomplish everything that I wanted to. Like that's the main thing. And when we don't accomplish everything, it makes us feel like it doesn't feel like a good day. It makes it feel kind of crummy. So today, but then I woke up this morning and I realized, wow, today is a new day. Like literally I woke up this morning. I thought today I would have a lot of resistance. I thought today I would feel a lot of pressure, anxiety, because I'm like, I have all this work to do. Like I'm never going to catch up with all my work. And guess what? Like this morning, I woke up in the morning. What time did I wake up? 7. I think I woke up at like 7 a.m., which is not early for me. Like that's kind of late for me. But I woke up. I woke up rejuvenated, ready to go. And from that point on, I was just like, okay, you know what? I just had a sense of like, I'm awake. I'm ready to go. Let's own the day. Like, let's really just make the most of today. So tomorrow's a new day. This whole phrase to me just really means like, let's not worry about the past. Let's focus on moving forward. So Tim said yes. So let's talk a little bit about Tim's situation. So again, we were on video chat talking about the Own Your Life Challenge, which is a monthly challenge, a monthly challenge about 30 days long. That is the purpose is to kind of break bad habits, create new habits, and ultimately go towards a certain goal that we have in our lives. So one of Tim's goals is to kind of improve his procrastination. And while we're on talk, we're talking about how Tim was saying how like I asked him, hey, how's your procrastination going? Like, has it improved? And he said, yes, it has improved in the past 15 days of the challenge. And that's because Tim made a conscious decision to be like, okay, you know what, let's be more intentional about this. I think that's great. And I think the second piece of it, like how do we further get over that procrastination? And Kevin Vo, who was also on the call, made a really awesome suggestion, which is instead of he gave a really cool analogy, which was he calls it the pink elephant example, which is when you're hiking up a trail, you're more likely to, or he says like when you're biking up a trail, and you see a pink elephant, you're more likely you're looking at the pink elephant like, ooh, that looks really interesting, like I want to go see the pink elephant, whatever, at the top of the mountain. That's what I want to focus on. And how you get to the pink elephant, aka the destination, is you focus on the goal instead of focusing on the rock that you're going to trip over. Because when you focus on the rock instead of the pink elephant, you're going to trip over the rock and crash. So essentially, let's talk about procrastination. Timothy says he wants to improve on his procrastination. If we keep focusing on trying to improve the procrastination, we can only get so far. And I think it's when we focus on our goals, like the actual destination that we want to achieve, is when we can essentially get past the whole procrastination and be better. And this is a perfect example for anything in our lives. I think a lot of times we all have things that hold us back in our life. A lot of times we have whatever it is, insecurities, doubts, a lot of things that are like, ooh, I don't know if I could do that. And instead of working on improving just this doubt, if we focus on a certain vision or a goal, that's even bigger, that's going to help us understand which way to go. So if we focus on an insecurity, like oh, I don't think I could do that. I don't know how to say this. Like, if we only focus on the insecurity, like we can only go so far. So that's why I like this pink elephant example. Thank you, Kevin. I don't know if Kevin's on right now. Hey, Kitty, good to see you on. Kitty Marie is in the house. Good to see you on again. I'm looking forward to your questions. Hopefully, Kitty. Yeah. Kitty was on yesterday. She was asking a lot of great questions, which was made this conversation very worthwhile. All right. So back to the topic of today. Tomorrow is a new day, and to me, this little quote, this phrase, to me is a blessing. It's like it's acknowledgement, it's permission that it's okay to have bad days. It's okay that today was not the best day that we had ever. Just know that tomorrow's a new opportunity. And I think oftentimes a very common thought that comes to my mind when I think, oh, tomorrow's a new day. Yeah, tomorrow is a new day. It's also just another day. Like what's going to make tomorrow different? What's going to make tomorrow different? Today was crappy. I'm just going to carry my crap into tomorrow. So why is it going to change? Isn't tomorrow going to be just as crappy as today? I don't know how to say this. It depends. I feel like there's a lot of magic that happens when we go to sleep. I believe I don't know what I believe exactly, but I do believe that when we give ourselves permission to kind of calm our minds down, to sleep on it, I believe that creates the opportunity to refresh our mind, to be in a different state. So I've been playing around with this concept for, I would say, the past few weeks, and I'm very grateful to have a wonderful someone in my life to remind me remind me on all the bad days that I have that, hey, tomorrow's gonna be another day, and so whenever I go to sleep, it's like my mind is not focused on, man, today was such a bad day. Man, tomorrow's going to be so stressful. No, like the mindset shifts into, you know what? You're right. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow can be better. Yeah. So I found there's some days where even if my mind was a little bit negative, even though my mind was a little bit like, man, tomorrow's going to be, tomorrow's going to be super hectic. I'm going to be super anxious, stressed out, things like that. What I realized, even if I feel that tomorrow's not going to be a good day, sometimes I surprise myself. Sometimes I believe there were 3 days in the past 2 weeks, 3 out of, I don't know, let's say, I want to say 3 out of 5 or 6 days that were kind of rough days for the past 2 weeks in terms of that energy, that feeling of, man, tomorrow's not going to be that great of a day. So I had 6 days. This is by the way, I think this is an Asian thing or maybe a Taiwanese thing, but this is the number 6 in Taiwanese. So there was a total of about 6 days out of probably the past 2 weeks where I went to sleep and I had a little bit of that anxiety, that feeling of like, man, I didn't finish enough work. And I would say at least 3 of the 5 or 6 days, I had this expectation that tomorrow was going to be a hot mess, that it wasn't going to work out. But I woke up the next morning and I was surprised. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, I actually feel free. I feel like I'm ready to own the day. And another thing is, if any of you are struggling with kind of like feeling that pressure, feeling that anxiety because you have so much work to do. What I'll say is like, it's easier said than done, but like sometimes it really is that easy. So I'll tell you something that really pressured me, which was I had a lot of work to do, and I'm like, man, I don't really know how to do this. And what I realized is, was it done is better than perfect? Is that how the phrase goes? Done is better than perfect. Essentially, the idea is just do it. Don't focus on perfection. I think when we focus on perfection, that really limits our productivity. That really holds us back from being productive. That's essentially it. So more recently, I've been like, there's only so much knowledge and things that we can learn before taking action. And seriously, at a certain point, like I think a lot of us, we just sit there, we hesitate, and we don't take action. And then taking action is literally, I feel like when you actually just do the work, about just do the work, you let go of that anxiety. So today was one of those days. Today's I was a little bit resistant. I'm like, I mean, I don't really feel like doing this. I don't really feel like doing that. Like it's, and I want to be perfect about it, but I just realized just do it. And once you just start taking action, like everything just becomes easier. So I'm gonna look at my to-do list right now. Today I started with 21 to-do list items. Only 7 to-do list items, which is fantastic. You know, like for me, I'm like, what is that? 14 different to-do list items. That's amazing. Or I reschedule to later days in this week, which is okay too. But again, so going back, today is a new day. Or sorry, tomorrow is a new day. So give yourself permission to just whatever. If you're feeling stressed out today, give yourself permission to relax, you know, rejuvenate, recover, and you know, don't have any expectations that, you know, oh man, tomorrow I'm going to crush it. You can set your mindset, sure, but just allow yourself to just be. You know, if you're exhausted, get some rest. And tomorrow, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Of course, there's another smart strategy that you could do, which is plan ahead. You know, the night before, you could plan ahead your whole entire schedule tomorrow. That's another thing. I'm still working on myself. I'm not perfect with that. Okay. Comments. I see your comments. Kitty Marie says, thank you for everything you do. You are talented, good looking, kind, and you are very special and worthy. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Very, very, very kind words. Alex Washington, good to see you on again. Alex Washington says, why do you make it so why do we make it so hard to be a new day? It's so difficult to start over when day one didn't work out the way we wanted to. Can we walk away on our new day? Do we have to repeat? Okay. Sorry, I got I don't know, some mucus or something. All right. So Alex, I'm going to kind of rephrase to make sure that I understand this question. And Alex, you can correct me if I'm a little bit off here, but what I'm hearing you say is, why is it that, you know, let's say tomorrow's a new day, right? Why is it sometimes hard on ourselves? Why is it so difficult to start it over, to reset ourselves? Because sometimes it feels like, you know, oh man, I really screwed up today. I didn't accomplish what I wanted to. I feel bad. I feel awful that I didn't do everything I wanted to, and I failed today, or, you know, I lost the game, or whatever it is. So how do we pick ourselves back up? And I feel like I kind of hit this already, but so why do we? Let's get to the straight question right now. So why do we keep, in a sense, beating ourselves up? Why do we make it so difficult for ourselves to move forward? Huge reason why, I would say, are kind of there's 2 reasons why we kind of beat ourselves up and we stay in this spot. Number 1 is it feels good. So, I mean, it feels bad, but it feels good. So let me explain this one. You know, obviously beating ourselves up, it doesn't feel good to be in this negative space. But when we beat ourselves up, what that does internally for us, why we do it, is because we get to feel sorry for ourselves. We get to have sympathy for ourselves. So we're like, man, I screwed up today. Man, I'm such a loser. I'm not capable. You know, I'm screwing this up. So we have sympathy. It's like, you know, I am. I'm just not that great of a person, not that responsible, not that capable. Start playing into what I call the victim story, which is, you know, we think we're this loser person who's not capable of accomplishing our goals. So it validates who we think we are. Conversation that we have, like, man, I screwed up today again. I screwed up again because that's just who I am. So it validates the belief that we have about ourselves. Say is it's not true. You know, that negative belief that we're not capable, we can't do it, we're irresponsible. These are things, these are, in my opinion, that are not true, but we just say them to validate it, to make it okay to continue repeating this cycle of, you know, whatever it is, procrastination, or not getting our work done, or not doing the best that we can. And another reason why we do it, in my opinion, is I believe we continue to beat ourselves up and make it difficult for ourselves. As long as we make it difficult for ourselves, and as long as we beat ourselves up, we don't have to face our problems. You know, we don't, our problems are there, but we still kind of still procrastinate from our problems. We still, man, I'm not quite ready to handle my problems today. You know, so I'm just going to complain about it instead. You know, I'm going to, oh, man, I can't do it. Like, it's so hard. You know, when we keep saying it's so hard, just an excuse. It's like an excuse. It's what's holding us back. So again, tomorrow's a new day, or what, to the point of this whole conversation. Life, you have two choices. You could either A, complain about it, or two, just do it. So that's kind of what I've learned on my journey, and that's kind of learned almost every single day. It's like every single day is a new opportunity to learn the same thing over again. There's days where I'm like, man, I know I should do it, but I'm tired, or I'm sleepy, or I can't do it. Every single moment is a new moment to be like, you know what? I could either and not do my work, or I could be aware, like, okay, that's just an excuse. You know, it's also not hard. Don't make things hard on yourself. That's what I'm learning too. It's like a lot of times I realize it's like, I feel like I'm a little bit exaggerating here, but it feels like 99% of the time, the tasks that I feel all that anxiety and pressure, I'm like, man, I don't feel like doing it. Like, that seems so difficult. That seems so annoying and frustrating to deal with. I notice when I actually just do it, you know, don't overthink it, just do it. It really is not that bad. It's like, that's kind of like the new discovery of 2018 for me. It's like, Richard, if you just do it, like, literally you get it done, and that's it. I mean, I'll give you some real examples of things I don't know if I'm slightly procrastinating on, which is like fixing a water pipe in my house. You know, it's like, it's starting to deteriorate and rust and stuff like that. Like, you know, that little thing bothers me, but I'm just like, oh, I got other responsibilities. I make excuses like, oh, I got other responsibilities. But really, the truth is, I'm too lazy. I'm not lazy, but I'm going to use the word lazy. I'm too lazy to find a mechanic / plumber, or like a home repair person, you know, how do I say it? I'm going to use the word lazy. Lazy is not the right word for this, but I'm going to use the word lazy. I'm too lazy, or I don't feel like situation out. So I got the water pipe thing because, like, literally all I have to do is break down, okay, water pipe. It's broken. Can I fix it myself? No, I can't. This is way too difficult for me. Cool. So what do I need to do now? And just go on Yelp, go ask some people, like some home repair people, take a photo of it, and problem I have, I got this water pipe that needs to be replaced. It's, you know, starting to leak. How can you give me an estimate of that? How much does it cost to fix? And get 5 estimates, just one or whatever I feel me. Cool. Schedule appointments, get it done, get it fixed. That's it. It's not that hard, but we make it seem harder than it actually is. So that's my mini example of kind of feeling that frustration. And look, I've known that this pipe should have been replaced at least for the past maybe 2-3 months, at least maybe 4 months, but it still hasn't been done. Granted, the pipe is still working. You know, I still have water. You know, it's not the end of the world. But I know these little things, it's going to keep bothering me until I just handle it. You know, we could all make excuses. Oh, I'm busy. I have too many things to do. Everyone has things to do. But what are we procrastinating? What are we procrastinating on? Okay. Alrighty. Anathox, good to see you on. How am I doing? I'm doing great today. Today is a great day for me. Today was more productive. I didn't like. I always have very high expectations. I should probably lower a little bit of like what I want to accomplish on my to-do list. I definitely knocked out a lot, but I feel like this last 7 items. There's a part of me, and I know I got to reframe this. There's a part of me that's like, man, Richard, you know, until you finish those last 7, complete. So part of me after this live stream wants to work on those last 7, which I think is possible to complete. It's a, but I also don't think I'll get it done in the next 2.5 hours before I go to sleep, or 2 hours before I go to sleep. Like it doesn't seem realistic. I might be able to finish 3 of them. So I think for me, it's just being content with finishing enough and knowing that I did a good job today, and not comparing myself with the completed to-do list. So that's one thing I'm working on. But overall, today was great. Alex Washington says, why do we feel like we need to do something better that we aren't good at, and not instead just change it? So let's see. Why do we feel like we need to do something better that we aren't good at, and not instead just change it? So sorry, I'm going to repeat this. Read this question for a third time. Why do we feel like we need to do something better that we aren't good at? I'm going to stop there so I can process this. So let's say there's something that we're not good at. Why do we feel like we need to do better at it? I would like to hear like a context, like an example, instead of just changing it. Why do we feel like we need to do something better that we aren't good at? So I'm going to think of something that I feel like I'm not good at. I feel like I'm not good at, let's say, keeping on track with things. Like I tend to, one of my weaknesses is focus, I would say. That's something that is challenging for me. So why do I feel like I need to focus more? And why not just change that? I'm sorry, Alex. I'm not clear on this question. Can you rephrase that? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not clicking for me right now. I almost get it, but it's not quite there. So Alex, please rephrase and I'll answer the question again. Richard De La Fuente, good to see you on, brother. Good to see you on. Kitty Marie says, I seem to have trouble saying positive things to myself. I just feed off of others' rude comments or compliments. What they say determine what I think. Help. Okay, so this is a Kitty. You're asking a lot of great questions. That's like in my ballpark. Things that I've most definitely dealt with in my life. So Ellen, good to see you. Let's see. So Kitty, you say you feed off of rude comments. So Kitty, you can say there's a lot of different things going on right now. What I'll say is if you are listening to other people over your own voice, that tells me a few things about yourself. Kitty, number one is that you don't trust yourself. That's a huge, like very, very clear to me that you don't trust yourself, because people who trust themselves listen to themselves. The fact that you're listening to other people tells me that you don't trust yourself. Let's see. The second thing that I was going to mention is I think there's something around the idea that you also don't respect yourself too. I think self-trust and respect kind of go hand in hand. If you trust yourself, you also kind of respect yourself at the same time. So it's like I'm gonna stick with trust. So again, you're having trouble saying positive things to yourself. And in a way, I want to say a lot of that is because you grew up, again, in an environment where you didn't say a lot of positive things to yourself. You grew up in an environment where you always beat yourself up. People always said negative things to you. And Kitty, I think you mentioned yesterday about how, people wanted you to go and they were really upset that you didn't go or you didn't leave. That's how my classmates and family as well. So, yeah, I mean, that is such a tough situation to be in, and that's so unfortunate. Like no human being deserves to be, have that situation. And but how do I say this? Yeah, I want to say sorry. Like it's no reason for me to be sorry, but like that, I just want to say that is a unfortunate situation that, again, no human being should have to go through. I think my perspective of life is like, my hope, my desire, which is not realistic yet, that everyone grows up in an environment where they are accepted and just as they are. I believe it's so unfair that people in this world, many, many millions, maybe even billions of people, grow up in an environment where it's a little bit toxic and not supportive and a lot of negativity. So how let's focus on the question of how do you start saying more positive things to yourself? How do you start listening to your own voice? So number one is I got two thoughts here, kind of three thoughts now. The first thing is before you even say positive, try to tell yourself positive things like whatever. I don't know what your real Kitty Marie. I don't know your real name, unless that is your real name. So if you're talking to yourself and right now you say, like, let's say you don't trust yourself, but you're like, you know what, Kitty, like you're a powerful human being. You can do it. I trust you. I believe in you. These are called affirmations. Now, if you don't believe it in like deep down in your heart, the straight answer is you're not going to believe it, which is okay. But if you keep saying these positive things, I believe subconsciously they will support you. That they're called affirmations. But at the same time, on a surface level, in a more immediate level, you're not going to really believe that this is the truth. So I believe in this case, what's really important for you, Kitty, is if you want to start listening to the positive voices, you get to build trust within yourself. And how you build trust with yourself is by, I would say, doing what you say you're going to do. So building integrity with yourself. So let's say you're like, today I'm going to exercise. And if you say you're going to exercise but you don't exercise, guess what? You're breaking trust with yourself. But if you say you're going to exercise and you end up doing it, guess what? You're building trust with yourself. So step one, I would say, is build trust with yourself. It's slowly by slowly. This is a process. This does not happen overnight. It takes time to build trust with yourself. So, start doing little things like, hey, I know I'm going to go for a 2-mile run today, or that might be a little bit too extreme. Maybe it's 1 mile, maybe it's half a mile, maybe it's a 5-minute jog or whatever it is. Just to get myself up and moving. And once you do it, you're going to start feeling better. You're like, oh shoot, like I did it. I feel proud of myself that I did it. And it's going to be a battle. It's going to go back and forth. There's going to be days where you mess up and you're like, oh man, I screwed up. I didn't exercise today like I said I would. That's okay. Forgive yourself, pick yourself back up and keep going forward. Tomorrow is a new day. Okay. So step one is kind of building up that self-trust. So eventually what happens when you build up your self-trust is you're going to start listening to your own voice. You're going to start trusting your own voice versus other people's voices. So, because here's the thing about life. Everyone has their own opinion. Richard has his own opinion. Everyone has their own opinions. And until you respect yourself enough to listen to your own voice, you're just going to buy into everyone else's opinions. You're going to believe what everyone else says, just like Richard. Like, I'm one of those people, I still do this a lot, where I listen too much to other people and I start to believe everything that everyone says as a fact. And I start to discredit my own opinions. It's like, part of me is like, oh, I'm trying to be open-minded, but I believe there's a certain limit to being open-minded. I think at a certain point, we need to learn how to value our own opinions and listen to our own heart. So that's what I have there. Kitty, another thing. So number one is build up that self-trust. And number two, I'm going to repeat this to you. So how do you start saying more positive things to yourself? I don't want to focus on the negative, but at the same time, just know that all those negative conversations in your head right now, Kitty, and anyone else who is going through the same challenge, just know that any negative conversation that is going through your mind right now is just a belief. And I want to be clear. I just want to straight up call it a false belief. It is a biased, false belief that you have created throughout your growing up in your life. So if you believe that you're not capable, you're not good enough, you're unwanted, that's a false belief that you've created through your environment. Doesn't mean it's true. Trust me, Kitty. If you, for example, I'm just saying, it's super random. If you came here and you lived with me Sorry, that sounds kind of weird or creepy. My main point is if we were just living in that same little environment and you stop living with your parents or whatever it is, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but my point is chances are you're going to be more positive. Why? Because I don't see people as I don't how do I say this? I don't focus on that negative. Like I don't have a belief, Kitty, that you're unwanted. I'll see it in you. If you're standing here right now with me, like I'll be like, okay, because I can read, I can read certain body language. I can see your insecurities. I can see when people are shy, they feel inadequate. These are things that I could see. And I want to look at you and notice them, but I'm not gonna be like, yeah, you're right. That is who you are. You are insecure, you are shy, you are inadequate. No, that's not what I see. What I see in you, Kitty, is I see someone that is powerful. I see someone that has been whatever you can say, broken, hurt, and has been I almost want to say damaged. Like it's been bent. I almost want to say bent but not broken. Let's go with that. Like life has kind of beaten you up. And so I don't hold that against you. Like I admire people who have gone through challenges and struggles. I think that it is such a gift. I think it brings so much light and energy. Like I don't think anyone like, sorry. Um, I believe the beautiful thing about the challenges we go through as human beings is that nobody else has experienced what you've experienced in that way. Like people who have life quote unquote good, which I believe everyone kind of goes through challenges, but let's just say for those few people who don't have a lot of challenges in their lives, um, in my opinion, good for them. I'm happy for them. But in my opinion, they don't get to see the beauty in life the way that we do. They don't get to see the beauty in life like we do because our challenges are, darkness creates light. Our dark times highlight the positivities in our life. So without the darkness, we wouldn't be able to see the light. If it was just light, to us, it'd be like monotone. It'd be very flat. It'd be, oh, this is just life. So challenges makes life colorful. It gives us perspective. Okay. All right. That's what I got here. Kitty, if you got more questions around that, let me know. We are here. And we're here to answer more questions and support each other. Alrighty. I am going down the list of questions here. So I see a lot of great people on right now, and I will get to your questions in just a second. But I'm going to do them in order right now. So Yaya Allen says, how do you balance life and school work? Wait, sorry. How do you balance life and school and work? First things first, I will say if you are a student and you're working and you want a life, that is a very challenging thing to balance. So just know that off the top, being a student and also working at the same time is not an easy thing to do. I did it when I was in college. It was challenging. But it worked out. Like I had I was taking 16 units, not 20. Wait, you know what? No, I gave myself only 12 units my last year at college. So my situation was not super intense, but I did work 2 jobs. One, I worked at Toys R Us, which is like a toy store. That's funny. College jobs, funny. So I worked there for like, I don't know, it was part-time, like 20 hours. And I was also a resident advisor at UC Riverside. So I was kind of in charge of my whole college, my hallway, my dorm. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. I put myself into that challenge because I want to learn and grow. So anyway, how do you balance everything? I think part of it is, first of all, part of it is kind of knowing what do you want in your college life. It's being self-aware. Like, do you want to work really hard? Well, do you have to work really hard because you need to make more money? Are you just working kind of for the experience of it and you need enough money, but you don't need to, like, let's say you're working 30 hours right now, but you're like, you know what? I don't really need to work 30 hours. I could probably get by just working 20 hours. Are those 10 extra hours, can you apply that to maybe having a social life? Is that going to be important to you? Or It's yeah, it's kind of like flexing. Like for me, when I signed up to work at a retail job, Toys R Us, I knew like for me, I wanted to work just kind of for the experience of working retail because I knew that I've never ever worked retail before. So I knew I didn't want to work like 30 or 40 hours. I just want to work about 20 or less. So that was me. So how do you balance everything? It's oh goodness. I need to pause here. I need to pause here and just give you a straight answer here. Time management. That's I don't know. That sounds like such an obvious answer. Time management. It's being intentional with how you spend your time. It's like understanding how much time you how much time you need to go to your classes, how much time you should allot to study for your classes, um, and how much time do you want to dedicate towards socializing and just like kind of spreading them out and giving yourself permission to you know go to classes slash study a certain amount of hours, but also socialize for a certain amount of hours. Let's say every week, maybe it's like 1 or 2 hours or whatever it is, maybe three. But be very disciplined in it, and then also work same thing. Work you kind of probably have your own hours already, so just block time out. And let's say your boss says, "Hey, can you work extra hours?" And this is where you got to decide. Is it worth it? Is you working an extra 5-10 hours a week or 20 hours a week worth it to if it's going to take over the rest of your life, your school and your personal life, is that worth it? Is that job right for you? Or you could just say, hey, no, sorry, I can't do that. That's it. So I would say don't be a sucker for your job unless that's like the job that you want to do. But respect yourself enough to balance your own life and respect yourself enough to say no when you don't want to do things, whether that's working extra hours or people say they want to hang out with you, but you need to go study, like whatever it is. And then the last little tip to how do you balance it is prioritize. What's your biggest priority right now? Is it socializing? Is it school? Is it work? Or is it something else? So figure out your priorities and, get those priorities done first. All right. So that's general tips. All right. Let's see here. Dink memes. I see you. All right, Onathox. What can I do when hanging out with a girl? I'm 19 and no car, lol, and it's snowy, very cold. Alrighty, yeah, that's an interesting question. Onathox, you fill us in a little bit here. So is this the girl that you were asking out on the during winter break? We want to hear more details about this. Okay, so you're hanging out with a girl. Let's see here. No car. It's snowy. It's cold. What can you do? How far do you live from her? It's I feel like you got to be creative. Like if you live close to her, I don't know what you're 19. You're living at your parents' place. Probably living at your parents' place. I'm guessing. I don't know. It depends what you two are down. Like, what's your relationship like? I need to know these things. Like, for the most part, the easiest thing to do is kind of virtual chat or like video call each other, stuff like that. A message back and forth. That's pretty obvious. Oh, get it. Sorry, I just saw yesterday was yesterday on, which is perfect because the conversation for today is tomorrow is a new day. Anyway, Onathox, going back to your question of, what can I do when hanging out with a girl? You're 19, no car, and it's snowy, so that's okay. I think people are going to understand if you don't have a car. Just like pick her up from her place. I don't know, like just ask what she's open to doing. Like maybe going out and just going for a walk in the snow, or like going to a local, going to eat locally, or I don't know, doing something. It's what else can you do? I sometimes I go on Groupon. Sometimes I go on Groupon. Like, what kind of deals are there? What are fun things to do? Do indoor things, that are not so cold. I don't know where you live exactly and what's around where you live. What else can you do? You got your typical movies. What if it's cold there? I like to do a lot of outdoor things. I'm not gonna lie, but eating at a decent restaurant doesn't have to be super fancy, but that's one thing. What's another thing you can do? You can I don't know if you got a little bit of money. I don't know your financial situation. If you don't have a car, but you're 19, use Uber, you know, um, get to her house, call an Uber and go somewhere. These are just some ideas. So there's, you just got to be creative. Like, what do you want to do? What do you trust your heart, trust your gut, trust your intuition. Like your intuition will tell you what to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just go for it. What else are things? 19. Let's see. You're 19. Like, think about, you could ask her, what does she like to do for fun? What are the things? Is she into comedy shows? Is she into movies? Is she into, um, theater plays? Is she into museums? Is she into sporting events? Watching a sports team, like whatever. Like, just figure out what she likes doing and try to do that, and do something that you enjoy too. Find that right balance between both of you. That's what I would say. Cooking classes, paint nights. What else is there? Well, I like to go for hikes and things like that. If it's cold, I don't know. Maybe can you still go outside even though it's cold? Like just wear a bunch of clothes. Would that be fun? Sometimes, I'm sure I've had times where I went out in the rain with people. Like just for fun or whatever. Like whatever. Like have fun with it. Just put your own little flair and spin into it. Anyway, yesterday says hello everyone. Hello to you too. Yes. Don of the day. Hey, good to see you, Don. Let's see. Oh my goodness, we got a cool chat going on today. Wow. Oh my, I just realized we got 16 people on right now. That's amazing. Between YouTube and Facebook right now. That's awesome. Ahmed, good to see you on, brother. Good to see you on. This is a great really active today. I'm kind of curious what makes today so active compared to other days. Alrighty. Let's see. Armando. Wait, hold up. Armando says this is the exact video I needed. I need a new tomorrow, I guess. Ananthoxis, welcome everyone. I love it. Dawn of the day, if you're asking me if I'm spiritual in any way, I would say I'm a little bit spiritual. I'm not religious. Definitely, I don't consider myself religious, but I am spiritual in a way of like, at least I'm like a wannabe. I'm a wannabe spiritual person. Like I like doing little meditations. I like being mindful. I don't know how to say this. I kind of like pseudo believe in the whole concept of the universe, that we are one. Like it's something fun to think about. It's a guiding principle of mine. It's like this idea of like just being grateful, knowing that I'm not the center of the universe, knowing that there is, I don't know for sure if there's a quote unquote higher power, but for me, it's like just giving thanks to like whatever this universe has given to me. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. There's hardships and things like that, but that's okay. Alrighty. Yesterday was yesterday says, how was UCR? Interesting question. I enjoyed UCR. I thought UCR was great. So this is going to be a very subjective opinion for sure. I don't know if you ask people who went to UCR what they would say, but for me, I enjoyed my experience because I made UCR my own experience. If you don't know what UCR is the University of California, Riverside. So that was the university that I went to. And, I was an RA, resident advisor. I stayed really, really involved all 4 years. I loved being involved with the residence halls. I loved the leadership, being a part of that. I loved being an RA. Like it was so much fun. It was my thing. It was my jam. Like I remember seeing some people who kind of did the job just to get paid, and they would do the bare minimum, and they would be like, just do enough, just do the bare minimum. For me, like I didn't even consider it a job. Like it was so much fun hanging out with the residents. It was so much fun planning programs for the residents. It was so much fun doing everything, even going on duty, which meant like I had to be like, people will call you in the middle of the night if like they're drunk or they lock themselves out of the room or something, or there's a problem, someone's disturbing. Like even those were sort of fun. That was a little bit more like the paperwork side, like writing reports was a little bit tedious, but overall, like I had fun. It was such a great experience. So my experience at UCR was great. And that's because I made it a great experience. And also because I had a lot of great, there's a lot of great staff there that made the environment fantastic. So thank you, staff from UC Riverside, who are most likely not even watching this. Carrie Devaney, who else? Too many. too many people to mention. Yeah, but I'm super grateful for all the, especially the Residence Hall staff. So if someone from the Residence Hall happens to be watching this, thank you so much. It's just reflecting back on that. That's thank you for giving me that nostalgic moment. Alrighty. Let's see. Armando says you missed 30 minutes, past 30 minutes. Is it possible for someone to summarize? So Armando, a few things. First of all, if you're not familiar with the structure of how I run these live streams, usually what I do is I talk about it, and at the very, very end, I'll do kind of two things. Number one is I will answer whatever questions are remaining, and the last thing I do is always I summarize kind of the main point of today and any kind of like cool points that I remember along the way. So don't worry about it. I'll summarize what I said earlier, especially around this idea that tomorrow is a new day. Okay, so everything Star Wars asks, how do you stop procrastinating? That's funny. Tim just asked this question right on a Zoom call that we had for the Own Your Life Challenge, which I talked about a few days ago. Or yeah, anyway, I'll talk more about the Own Your Life Challenge later this month, probably sometime next week. I'll talk a little bit more about it. It's a monthly challenge where it's designed to help people build up their habits. I would say maybe a third of the people watching the stream right now are probably in the Own Your Life Challenge, so they know what I'm talking about. The other 2/3 probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's okay. I will let you know. I'll give you a little sneak peek right now. So the call we just had, it was to give feedback on how do we improve the Own Your Life Challenge for February 1st. February 1st is going to be the start date, and essentially what you do is you create one big goal that you have that you want to accomplish in the upcoming month. Some examples of goals that people have created was to improve their procrastination, to go on a date, to stop smoking, to lose weight, to what else did other people have? To get a job, to make a certain amount of income in their job. So just a lot of different things. And there's also these other, I want to call it like secret challenges that I don't share with you now. I'm not going to share with you now, but like these secret challenges are designed to help you improve certain areas of your life and challenge you in certain ways that you didn't even know that, you didn't even think about in a way. So anyway, I'm looking forward to February because it's going to be even better than January. Sorry, January people who are on right now, but that's just the matter of the fact, which is February, because I got people like Kevin Vo and Tim Young on right now who provided a lot of great feedback to improve the Own Your Life Challenge for February. So February, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a work in progress. We're still always growing and evolving and improving this challenge that we're doing, but with every single month, it's going to be better, better, and better and better. So super looking forward to that. Okay. Everything Star Wars. I'm going to briefly answer the question of, how do you stop procrastinating? Hold on. Do I want to do this one? Because we talked about this earlier on in the stream. That was like one of the first things we talked about. But because I see we got a lot of people on right now, especially on YouTube, and we have a total of 16 people, Facebook and YouTube combined. Yes, we're streaming on 2 platforms right now. So I will answer this question because I think it's a very prominent question that a lot of people deal with. How do we stop procrastinating? So real quick, the quick summary is Kevin Vo came on. He gave a really great example that he heard from someone else. And the idea is, let's say you're mountain biking up a path, right? And you're like, oh wow, like that's a really awesome pink elephant. You see a huge pink elephant at the top of the mountain. You're like, dude, I got to go check that out. When you're focused on trying to get to the pink elephant, what do you focus on? You're focused on trying to get the pink elephant. You're not focused on the huge rock. And there's always this phrase, this saying, like, if you focus on what's in front of you, it's probably going to happen. So a lot of times people are like, don't hit that rock, don't hit that rock, don't hit that rock. And then what happens? They hit the rock. So the moral of the story is focus on the pink elephant, and that's going to get you to your goals, versus focusing on the rock. So in this case, procrastination is that rock. So if you keep focusing on trying to stop procrastination, to Kevin's point and whoever gave this analogy, if you keep focusing on just trying to stop procrastination, it's only going to get you so far. if you focus on the pink elephant, if you focus on the bigger goal that you want to accomplish, that's going to help you stop procrastinating, because it's going to give you a bigger why, a bigger purpose as to why you should stop procrastinating. For example, if you saw a huge pink elephant, like that was, bright pink, a real elephant on top of a mountain, do you want to go see it? I want to go see it. That sounds really awesome, So figure out what is your why. I think that's a really good thing to stop procrastination. Well, that's number one. So there we go. That's number one. Number two, I didn't mention this earlier, but I would say, part of it is pushing yourself. Part of it is just discipline. It's practice. I would say learning to stop procrastinating is just another muscle. It's literally just pushing yourself to get better and better every single day. So that's what I think about procrastination. It's pushing yourself to be like, okay, you know what? I don't feel like doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And one thing I'll say from my own personal experience is that what's really interesting is when we procrastinate, we have a lot of resistance. A lot of this resistance, this feeling of like, man, I don't feel like doing my essay. I don't feel like studying right now. I don't feel like exercising. Man, I feel so lazy. I don't feel motivated. And what's really interesting is like, the funny thing about procrastination is sometimes it becomes a cycle. When we procrastinate, it becomes this like endless loop of this like, I don't feel like doing it. It feels so difficult. Like I have so much resistance. But the funny thing is, the less you think about it, the less you think about that task you have to do, and you just do it, it becomes super easy, or it becomes a lot easier, depending on what it is. But in general, at least in my life, sometimes I look at certain tasks on my to-do list. I would say like every day or every other day, or very frequently, I have tasks where I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. Like that's such a drag. I'll focus on doing something else, or that's where my mind wants to go. And then I realize if I just stop overthinking it, if I stop focusing on dreading the task, so if I stop focusing on the rock and I focus on the pink elephant, if I just focus on the goal and know if I accomplish this one big task, that I'll just feel so much better. If I do that, then and just take action, that will just kind of break my pattern of procrastination. So the summary is just do it. If you're procrastinating, just do it. Do the task that you're supposed to be doing, and that's going to solve your problems. Action will solve your problems. Okay. So hope that was helpful. Literally, like it's a really weird concept. Like if you want to end procrastination, literally just stop procrastinating. It sounds really silly and kind of like, okay, that was obvious, easier said than done. But once you just take action, and another little tip is stop being a perfectionist. Perfectionism is a killer of productivity. Perfectionism kills productivity. Okay, that's another lesson of today. Procrastination kills productivity. So stop trying to be perfect. Just take action. Imperfect action will get you much better results than perfection will. Perfection will create analysis paralysis, and then you're just not going to do your work. So imperfect action is the best way you can do to stop procrastination. Okay, Tom Sergis says also focus on belief. I heard your brain takes a lot of energy to run. So if you don't think you can actually accomplish your goal, procrastination is a biological way to save energy and avoid spending energy on things. Hold on, I gotta open Facebook. I gotta open Facebook to read the rest of this comment because it's chopped off on mobile. Funny how mobile does that. Okay. I'm gonna reread this comment right now, which is, so to stop procrastinating, Tom Sergis says, focus on belief. I heard your brain takes a lot of energy to run. So if you don't think you can actually accomplish your goal, procrastination is a biological way to save energy and avoid spending energy on things your brain doesn't think you can complete. So what I'm hearing from this is essentially, if you want to stop procrastinating, change your belief systems, because your belief system is going to train your brain to think, oh, I can't do this. So essentially what I'm hearing for you say, Tom, is shift your mind from not believing you can do it and just choose to believe that you can do it and just do it. That's essentially what I'm hearing. Alrighty. Whew. Water break. All right, let's crush these questions. Let's go. Whoa, wait, what? Uh-oh. Whoa. Rut-row. Wait, holy goodness, there's a lot of comments. I don't know why I didn't even see these. Okay, I gotta get moving with these. I'm gonna answer your questions for sure. Let's do this. I can't figure out how many minutes I am behind the comments, but I see a lot of comments, at least 20 to 30 comments. I'm behind. But I'm going to get to your questions before I hop off. Okay. Armando says, anyway, Richard, I want to try to stop addictions and distractions in general. What do you think is the best way to practice habits that will allow me to not distract myself with work needed to be done? Okay. So again, what do you think is the best way to practice habits that will allow me to not distract myself with work needed to be done? So there's two parts to this. One is we got bad habits, we have good habits, right? We got habits that we want to get rid of and habits that we want to improve and keep. So let's break this down real quick. Let's talk about bad habits. There's two. I think that I'm just going to think off the top of my head. I believe there's two things you got to focus on. Number one is eliminating bad habits. So if you have habits that are not supporting you, if you are smoking, eating unhealthy, eating junk food, if you are whatever, playing too many video games, or you are watching too much TV, or you're using social media too much, then notice those distractions and start creating rules or certain boundaries where you don't allow yourself to get overly consumed with that. I'm going to speak for myself. What I realized for myself, social media is a great example. I'm sorry if I don't interact with you a lot on social media like Facebook or Instagram or whatever. What I realized for myself is like, I trust me, I used to love looking at Facebook feed. I used to love just consuming and, liking people's posts and reading because it was super fascinating. Like, I'm going to be very honest, and I don't feel bad, but I kind of feel bad. I don't really watch other people's live streams. I don't look at people's content because to me, it's very distracting from my life. So, it's kind of weird that, it's like in a way you're watching my stream, but I don't watch your content. I'm sorry about that. But like for me, I've built up a habit, which I would say I'm grateful for. Like once in a while, I'll, look at my phone and go through the news feed and just look at people's posts. And I do want to engage with you. I do want to learn what's going on in people's lives. But at the same time, it's like, what I realize is like, when I don't focus on social media, when I don't consume social media so much, I'm able to be more productive. So I use my desktop a lot. And when I go on Facebook, actually, when I message people on Messenger, I don't go to facebook.com anymore. I don't go to facebook.com and click that little messenger icon. No, I go to messenger.com now, because messenger.com is like its own separate platform, which is how I communicate with people. What else? If I go on Facebook to look at notifications, which I do once in a while, I don't. I use Newsfeed Eradicator, so that means it just blocks off all the newsfeed, because I will get super distracted. By the way, I love reading content. The feeds, it's super interesting. It's insightful, but I think there's so much more that I got to focus on. So my point is, Armando, with bad habits, create systems that will reduce those bad habits. That's number one. Number two, let's talk about positive habits. Create systems that are going to, think about what are the main positive habits that are going to make the biggest difference in your life. Pick a couple and run with it. So, for example, maybe it's sleeping early. Maybe it's eating healthier. Maybe it's going to the gym or exercising. I think those are the typical ones that are helpful. Probably exercise is a big one for a lot of people. So if exercise is going to support you, start making a commitment to exercise regularly. And how do I say this? I would focus more on a long-term goal versus a short-term. How do I say this? Create a goal. That's all I'll say. Create a goal. Like, let's say you want to lose weight. Create a goal to lose a certain amount of weight by a certain amount of time. And because a goal is usually, it gamifies things. It makes things fun. It makes it like for me, my goal is to lose 20 pounds in 2.5 months. And guess what? Fun little fact. I've already lost at least 15 pounds in 1.5 months. So, yay. Anyway, so what is my point here? Set goals. Set goals that are kind of like inspiring for yourself. If you were to accomplish it, like, it would be inspiring. Don't make it overly difficult, and get committed to doing it. Okay, that's what I have. Set goals. So focus on removing bad habits and focus on including big positive habits by creating goals, tangible goals that are kind of like, ooh, wouldn't life be cool if I did this? And one of the best ways to improve your self-confidence and your belief in yourself is create a goal that scares you. Create a goal that is like, that changes your belief system. Create a goal that's like, ooh, I never thought I'd ever be able to do that. I never thought I'd be able to run a half marathon. If you create that goal and you accomplish it, guess what? Your mindset is going to shift. You're going to be able to start believing a lot more in yourself. All right. Okay. Let's see. All right. Sorry if I don't, I'm going to look through all the comments. Sorry if I don't acknowledge your comments specifically. I'm reading all of them, but I'm going to focus on the ones that have questions or something, content around it. Jamal Williams says, hey, I'm from the Bahamas. What do you say about dropping certain friends? If you got friends who are not serving you, if you got friends who are negative, are bringing you down, and they're going to continue to be like that, I would say respectfully, stop spending time with them. So you don't need to diss them. You don't need to be like, dude, you're a trash friend. I don't want to hang out with you anymore. What I would just say is just be intentional with spending time with people who are going to build you up, lift you up, and become a better person. Let's see. So Jamal, that's what I have to say with dropping friends. Okay. I think that's short and sweet. There we go. Let's see. I see other. How long should you study? How long should you study? I think you should study enough to know that you should study as much as you need to. That's my answer. If you got a test and you got to study for it, know what grade, like this, it comes down to self-awareness. What grade are you trying to get? Are you trying to get an A on the exam, a B on the exam? Know your goals, and then yourself best. You know how much you need to study in order to achieve your goal. So that's how you determine how much you need to study for. So for example, if I want to get an A, I know for this subject, I'm like, I don't really understand this topic. I understand it so. I think it's going to take me about 5 hours to study. Go study for 5 hours. There we go. Self-awareness, understand what your goal is, and then boom, go. And then third piece is figure out what is the most effective way that I know how to study. Is it with groups? Is it study groups? Is it reading a book? Is it, teaching someone else? Like, what is it? Asking for help? Figure out what's most effective and apply as many resources as possible for you to get to your goals. For example, not everyone does this, but for me, my biggest help was I had, of course, I made friends naturally just by trying, and I would be like, hey, we got a test coming up next week. Hey, do you want to study this together? And so I'd create study sessions. I was not a smart kid in class, so I essentially enrolled other people to teach me the lessons. And when they taught me how to do it, I would ask questions like, hey, can you explain this again? And they'll be happy to, because that helps them reinforce the knowledge. So that's how I learn. Okay. Scorpion Lover Akil says, what about urgency to start now? So where do you find that urgency to start now? That's a great question. I would say the first thing that comes to my mind is if you don't have that urgency to start right now of like whatever you want to do, figure out your why. Focus on answering why. Why does this matter? Why is this important to me? Okay. So if you lack urgency, focus on your why. Let's see. Forever Leona. Is that a league name? Can apply to league and work at any practical necessity. Don Day says, how can you use mindfulness to get rid of a bad habit? Mindfulness. Let me define mindfulness for myself. This is a great little challenge for me. So my definition of mindfulness is mindfulness to me is self-awareness. It's being calm. It's like just centering ourselves to like notice what's going on. So how do we use mindfulness to get rid of a bad habit? So I want to use a old personal example, which is video games. I used to play a ton of video games nonstop. I was essentially addicted to it, and it was a huge problem. So how can I use mindfulness to get rid of playing League of Legends? That was a huge bad habit of mine in the past. I still love League of Legends. I watched a League of Legends video today, but I do it in so much more moderation. And I don't choose to play League of Legends because I know if I were to play, it would suck me back in. So I appreciate the game, but I'm not going to invest my energy into playing it right now in this moment in my life. Maybe later to if I'm connecting with other people, stuff like that. Anyway, so mindfulness to me is being self-aware. It's calming down the mind to know strategy. So let's say I have a bad habit, and in this case, it's playing too much League of Legends. So how do I use mindfulness to stop playing so much League of Legends? First of all, mindfulness is calming myself down. It'd be like, okay, I'm calm. I would start asking questions, which is, how is playing League of Legends affecting my life right now? Right now, playing video games, playing League of Legends is affecting my life because when I play League of Legends, I'm disconnecting myself from the world. You know, I'm not talking to my family. I'm not talking to my friends. And it's also affecting me because I'm in a negative mindset all the time because there's so many trolls. There's so many people who flame. There's so many people who are, there's so much negativity in the community. It's a great game, great community, but there's just so much negativity. People always, saying mean things, and I don't feel good when whatever I lose or I screw up, and it's just very unhealthy. Okay, so that's mindfulness. It's being aware of how this bad habit is affecting us. Okay, next mindfulness related question is doing this bad habit serving me? So is playing video games serving me? Is playing League of Legends serving me? Or is smoking serving? Is eating? Is is watching television? Is whatever this bad habit is it serving me? No, it's not. I mean, yes, I'm enjoying it, but it's hurting me more than it's helping me. So it's not serving me. Okay. So this is all mindfulness, right? It's asking questions. Okay, if it's not serving me, what do I get to do? Well, I probably get to stop playing League of Legends because it's not serving me. It's hurting me a lot more than it's helping me. Okay. Is that the right decision, or do you just need to moderate it? Well, knowing myself, if I try to quote unquote moderate it, I'm just going to go back to playing. So I probably just need to quit. Okay, cool. So what's the plan of action? Quit. Okay. When are you going to quit? I'm going to give myself 2 days. 2 days to, whatever, get out of my system, play as much as I want. Then I'll uninstall the game and get it out. Okay. So to me, that's essentially how to use mindfulness to get rid of a bad habit is calming yourself down and asking yourself those really important, getting real with yourself, asking yourself those real questions. If you don't know what questions I ask, just use the exact questions I ask you. Is this serving me? Yes or no? No. Okay. What do I need to do to fix it or change it? Okay. Boom. Start eating whatever. You can start eating healthier. Go to the gym. So it's all just asking questions to yourself. I think that's mindfulness. Okay. Oh, Kevin Vo, going back to how do you study, how much do you study? Kevin Vo says you can also search up the psychology of how to study effectively. That's a great idea. All right. Armando says, with all the money I'm banking on, do you think I should try my best to not buy a lot of stuff and get to afford something important on my future? And what do you think about that would be? Okay, so Armando, let's see. This is a very subjective question, and this is one of those things I'm glad you're asking. At the end of the day, my main belief, I got 2 beliefs here. Number 1 is at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your life. You got to figure out what you want to do with it. So don't let other people dictate it. However, I do have a point number 2. Point number 2 is when in doubt, if you don't know what to do with your money, my suggestion to you is just save money just in case. That is the safer thing to do. If you just I don't know what to do with my money, save money. Why not save? Literally. So here's how money works, in my opinion. If you leave money in a bank account where you could see it, and whatever, you're one of those people you see it and you'll just spend it. But if you put your money away in savings, guess what? You're not even going to notice that you saved money. You're not even going to notice the difference. it's going to be in savings. You know, over time, you're going to build up hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars in savings that you could later, you could decide what you want to do with it, which we'll get to in just a second. And guess what? The fact that you have the money saved up, like it's going to help you so much in the future. It's going to help you in so many different ways. Versus the money that, let's say you have a few $1,000s in savings. Guess what? You're really not going to notice a huge difference because you're just going to spend the rest of your money anyway. If you have that kind of mindset. Anyway, so, yep, my huge safe recommendation is just save. If you don't know what to do with your money, save money. A general rule that I have. This is not super backed, but I like if I'm young and I don't have a lot of expenses, I try to save at least 50% of my money. Yeah, like I think right now, well, my rules are a little bit stretched, but it's somewhere between 30% and 70%. It's a huge range. Anyway, so saving is such a great thing. Where do you put your money? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not the best person to ask about this, but what I would save my money up for, one is retirement. So if you're in the United States, that would be a 401k, or a IRA, which is a individual retirement account, IRA, Roth IRA or IRA. So just retirement accounts. Okay. So that's a huge part of it. You can put it into stocks, investments, cryptocurrency if you want. That's another thing. You could save money for a house. You could save money for emergency funds. You could save money for future extra emergency funds of like health related expenses. You could save money for future trips that you want to go on, things like that. So there's a lot of ways that you can save. It'll be a learning process, but that's what I'll offer to you right now. Okay. Let's see. Jamal says, would you visit the Bahamas? Dude, I would love to visit the Bahamas. Please get me out there. If I got speaking gigs lined up in Bahamas, I will be out there. If someone gives me a ticket to fly there to speak, I will be out there and I will teach people whatever they want to learn, including how to build up their self-esteem and believe in themselves. Get me out there, please. That sounds like an awesome idea. Tanya, good to see you on. Let's see. Good to see your streams flowing smoothly again. Thank you. Appreciate that. Anathox says, Richard, what stresses you nowadays? So what stresses me nowadays is, I would say the big thing would be when I feel like I create a certain goal for myself and I feel behind on it and I feel like I have to do so much work. So that's what stresses me out right now. So I've already publicly mentioned that I have a goal by June 8th, which is about, let's say 5 months from now, to book 30 paid speaking gigs. Honestly, that goal is, there's been, I don't know how to say, like ups and downs, but it's like, it's been an interesting journey, and I'm still working towards it. So it's been stressing me, stressing me out a little bit because I have the goal. I want to keep the goal, but I know at the same time, like I don't want to rush things because I'm also I value relationships. So I don't want to ruin relationships at the same time. So I'm being kind of careful. Like I'm trying to figure out what's the right balance to still book lots of speaking gigs, but not ruin relationships, AKA like cold calling and coming off as a salesperson, which I do not want to do. I really want to build relationships with the people that I work with, because that's, a huge part of who I am. Okay. What if they stole my job? Not clear. Okay. Oh, Anathox, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Anathox said, if you guys are enjoying the stream, hit like. Thanks for the support. Okay. Oh, Don says the stream quality is 100% today. Much better. That's awesome. I'm so glad that the stream is working well. I'm not sure why it's working better. I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to continue working better like the way it is right now. All right. And Keith says, how to be consistent with your hard work? It's by putting in the work. It's by continuing to push yourself. It's by staying focused on your why. I think that's one of the biggest things. Simon Sinek says, start with why. It's this idea of focus on your why. What is the main reason why? What's the big reason why you're doing what you're doing today? So if you're studying in school, don't just focus on, oh man, I got to work hard. I got to study hard to get good grades. Why? Why are you getting good grades? What is the bigger picture? Oh, I need to get good grades because maybe it helps with my discipline. Maybe it helps me get into a good college. Okay, so what? So what if it helps you with your discipline or gets you into college? Oh, well, if I get into a good college, that'll give me more opportunities to get a better job. It'll also working on that self discipline is going to help me build up my mind, which means I will be able to do whatever I want. Which maybe I want to start my own business or whatever it is. Maybe I want to be successful in a different way. So, sorry, I'm talking really fast. So, how do you be consistent with your hard work? Is I would say focus on your why. Focus on your reason. Why should you be working hard? Okay. Yep. All right. Armando says, I don't focus on what I really want. I'd rather I focus on. Okay. Let's see. Uh-oh. Hold on one second. I'm catching up to your comments. Kitty says, I'm leaving because I don't want to stress you out. Bless your heart, Richard. Keep smiling. Good night. Kitty, I think Kitty's already gone, but if you're still on, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your presence so much and your vulnerability. When people open up about their stories, I'm able to connect with you even more and understand how to kind of support you better and also talk on a more personal level because again, I understand and I understand your situation. Okay. Let's see here. I'm reading comments right now. There's a lot of conversations back and forth, which is awesome. That's perfectly cool. I'm sorry if I missed your question. I don't think I missed a question, but yeah, I'm reading through because there's a lot of conversation back and forth, which is great. Yesterday says, for all the positive League of Legends brings you, you can find those things that things in other areas of your life. Yeah. So yesterday is pretty much saying that certain habits. Let's say for anyone who loves playing video games. First of all, I'm not hating on video games. Some people connect through video games, and that's their thing. And if it genuinely makes you happy and it generally fulfills you in that way that's meaningful, and that that's just a part of who you are and that's who you want to be, perfect. Keep it up. Like I'm not discounting it at all. For myself personally, I still enjoy League of Legends, but it brings a lot of negativity. But for the positive things that League of Legends brings, yesterday is essentially saying that I could find that positive energy that for League of Legends. Why I like the game is because there's a lot of skill development. It's a lot of there is a lot of intellectual stuff. It's a lot of mind games. It's a lot of chess. It's reading the opponent. It's learning things. It's skill. I could develop a skill somewhere else. Let's say public speaking, something that's more, you can say productive or towards my own passion or goals. Again, I'm not knocking on playing video games. It's perfectly okay if that's your thing. It's just finding the right medium for your life. Okay. Jai Burrito TV says, how to be great at anything? Practice, put in the dedication, hard work. Armando says, my classmates play League of Legends a lot. I guess it helps that they form a little community over my school. I think that's super cool. I wish I was part of a League of Legends community, like, when I was in school. I think that'd be so much fun to play with people and grow and learn. I totally would have been doing that if I was in school. Let's see. All right. I love the conversations. All right, Armando. Oh, did we just reach the bottom? Oh, hey, we just hit all the comments. Hey, Armando, thanks so much for tuning in. I see that you say you're about to leave and you're going to rest. We're getting ready to wrap up, and feel free to leave if it's time to go for you. Good night for anyone who is leaving. I'm going to wrap up this conversation right now. Nick Fiaco says, how do I stop procrastinating homework? Okay, Nick, I'm going to abstain from this question because we already answered how to stop procrastination twice on the stream. One right at the beginning and right in the middle. So Nick, the stream is going to end pretty soon in the next, I would say 5-10 minutes. And what you could do is you could re-watch the stream at the beginning and in the middle to figure out how to stop procrastination. And I'll actually summarize for you maybe real quickly right before we hop off too. Okay. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Scorpion. Create a strong why. How do you stop procrastinating on anything? Create a strong why. Focus on why. Why is your homework so important? Don't focus on you can focus on techniques to stop procrastinating, but at the same time, what's going to drive you forward, what's going to pull you forward is understanding why doing the homework is important And when you understand it, when you're clear on your why it's important, it'll help you move forward. But that's not always an easy thing to do. Work on procrastination is a muscle, so keep working on it. Self-discipline, stuff like that. Yeah, it's a hard to recap everything. So go ahead and watch the beginning of the stream. Sorry, I know this is an hour and 20-minute stream, so it might be hard to find. Alrighty, let's see. Don Day says, have a good night, Richard. Tomorrow is a new day. Yes. Alrighty, so here's what I'm going to do right now. We are at the end of our stream, and I'm going to quickly recap on the topic of today. The topic of today is, what is it? Tomorrow is a new day. Essentially, the main idea is that if you're having a bad day today, if you feel like you didn't own today, you feel like you failed in some way of today, just know that that's okay. Like, it is perfectly okay to not have a good day. Everyone goes through not so great days. It's just part of being a human being. We're not perfect, but just give yourself permission to know that tomorrow is a new day, that tomorrow is literally a brand new day, which means things can be completely different. Now, if you're like me, sometimes I can be a little bit of a pessimist or realist, whatever you want to call it. And I'll look at tomorrow and be like, man, I have so much work to do. I'm so behind. My grades suck. But give yourself permission that tomorrow is a brand new day. Because what that might do for you, without you not even knowing, is you might wake up in the morning tomorrow and be like, wow, today is a good day. You know what? I might be a little bit behind on my work, but I'm going to own today. I'm going to make the most of today, and I'm going to do my best to catch up today. So why this conversation came up for me today is because yesterday I was having a rough-ish day, and I thought today was going to be a bad day. I thought today was going to be one of those like rough, super anxious, super behind my work. But I woke up this morning feeling energized, and I don't know how. Maybe I just slept enough, whatever it is. Maybe I gave myself permission to just say, you know what, let's just reset today. Let's have fun. And that's what helped me. How do I say this? That's what helped me get back on track. Like, today was a great day. It really was a great day. And I did not expect it to be this great of a day. Not perfect, but still great. Okay. Everyone, thank you so much for hopping on. Kevin Vo, I just want to give a shout out to Kevin Vo. Thank you very much for all your support, and always, I'm so surprised. Like, you do so much for, I want to say, the community, not just the community, and just like people in general. You're such a caring person. And so for people who do not know who Kevin Vo is, he's a participant in the Own Your Life Challenge. We did the same, we went through a similar, how do I say this? The same coaching program together too. Not at the same time, but same coaching program. And Kevin's been like super supportive with the Own Your Life Challenge. And he's been like kind of like a unofficial, might as well be an official advisor for the challenge. And he's always on supporting me and offering advice and being engaged. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. But thank you, Kevin. And thank you all for being a part of this. Too many acknowledgments that I get to do, but I just want to say thank you. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking for like, 2.5 hours now, because I was talking right before this too. Okay. Scorpion, I'm glad this is helpful. You are most welcome. Like, seriously, this is exactly why we do these live streams, is to create these opportunities to have conversations. Don't be shy. Like, this is a daily live stream for a reason. We are here to support each other. Like, this is part of my mission in my life, is to help people improve themselves. And literally, like, I'm getting chills for the fact that I get to do this. Like, literally, it's like literally in this exact moment, I have the privilege to exactly live my life, like my life mission, my why, what drives me every single day, and you all make it so easy for me to provide and achieve my goals and feel fulfilled in this moment, because sometimes we think goals are way out there. Goals are like, becoming that speaker, whatever. But seriously, you guys are #goals. Okay, good night, everyone. See you on tomorrow at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good night. Bye.